Hi guys, so I wanted to do kind of a follow-up to my ectopic pregnancy video and give you an idea of what has happened since then, just because more things have happened, and I want to give you guys some heads up about sort of things to look for whenever you're in a hospital setting. So we waited 3 months to try, and we got pregnant again. And when I was 5 weeks along, I started having some bleeding, of course on a Saturday when the doctor's office is closed. So my doctor told me to go to the hospital. I went, we had an ultrasound done. They found a sac. The tech said it's, normal. It looks like the sac is a decent size for the time frame that we were thinking we were pregnant, and there was no heartbeat because it was too small. They said that was normal. The ER doc comes in and says he has some bad news and that it's ectopic. And I said that didn't make sense, but I let him say his piece because I figured as soon as my OB showed up that it would all get cleared up, because she was gonna, listen to me, of course. And my OB shows up, and it was a very different story. So when you have an ectopic, you have some pretty classic ectopic signs, and I didn't have any of those. And so I told her, I said I had my progesterone was normal. It was like 29. It just needs to be above 10 to not really be worrisome. My HCG had been more than doubling every 48 hours, which is great. I didn't have one-sided pain like I had the first time. And the first time I also had a fever, and I didn't have any of those symptoms. She didn't think any of that was important. And then whenever I told her that the ultrasound tech didn't seem concerned at all about the placement of the sac, she said very coldly that techs don't diagnose, doctors diagnose. And that's true, yes, but also just completely disregarding information from another medical professional, I think was wrong on her part. So I asked her to look at the images again because I thought that the report was wrong. She left, and when she came back, she was prepping us for surgery. So I'd assumed that she'd looked at them. And we were told that we were going to have to do surgery, that she would remove my other tube, that I would no longer be able to conceive children naturally. And then that afternoon, me and my husband grieved the idea of, grieved, this loss, grieved the idea that we would ever conceive children naturally. Because they already took one of my tubes, so I only had one left. And when they took me into surgery, they put me under general anesthesia, and the tube looked fine, and the sac was in the uterus, right where it should be. Healthy, normal uterus pregnancy. I woke up from surgery. My surgeon was not to be found, and I asked the nurse to grab the surgeon. She came over, and I said, "How was the surgery? What happened?" And she said, "Well, the tube was fine, so you got to keep your tube, and everything went well, and you're gonna be fine." And I said, "Am I still pregnant?" And she said, "You are." And I was just like, "What? Like, what? Isn't that the first thing you're supposed? Is she okay, or is the baby okay? And she, that wasn't like even like an important thing to her to mention right off the bat. It was just the tube was fine. You got to keep the tube, So I think that she knew that she screwed up because of how she was talking to me. Anyway, I healed from the surgery, and I'm 21 weeks pregnant now, so she is just fine, which we're very, very happy about. But I wanted to give you guys some information about what we could have done differently, and then what we did do after the fact. So one of the things that I would have recommended is demanding more testing, especially if you only have one tube left, because if you aren't having other symptoms, if you don't think it's ectopic, then don't let them take you into surgery. My probably biggest regret in this is not demanding a second ultrasound. It's easy to do. It would have taken, another hour or so in a hospital. I'd already met my deductible by this time, so it didn't really matter because I'd already had that earlier surgery in the ear. Another thing is just to get another doctor's opinion on the images. And then if you aren't able to do either one of those things, just to go to a different hospital. They can't make you have surgery. And if you don't feel comfortable with the treatments that you're getting, the help that you're getting, then go somewhere else. So another thing is, I wanted to tell you what we did do after the fact. So this was 2 for 2 for us. We had 2 experiences where we were going in with possible ectopics, had ultrasounds done, the radiology report came back, and with the first one that was ectopic, they said it wasn't. They said that there was nothing there and that I was fine and that I could have gone home. I talked to my surgeon and said, I'm in a lot of pain. Can you at least go in there and look? I mean, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't in a lot of pain. And she went in just to look, and it was huge. I was already bleeding internally. I could have died within days. And then with my second, this is the same hospital. With my second, I went in, got an ultrasound, and they said it was ectopic, and it wasn't. And they absolutely put my first healthy pregnancy at risk. And it's got to be partially their fault. The radiology department, I don't know if they are overworked, if they aren't qualified to look at gynecological stuff. Maybe they need to be specialized. I partially hold my surgeon responsible because she could have been more cautious, but also I hold the hospital partially responsible because what the hell is going on with the radiology department? This is 2 for 2. So what did I do? After the fact, I wrote a letter to my surgeon telling her how she should have been more cautious, what my symptoms were, what textbook you look for with an ectopic, and how my case didn't at all apply, and how she needs to be more cautious in the future, and how she's lost my trust. That was basically the letter to her. I also wrote a letter to the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, and the CEO of the hospital that I went to. I made recommendations to changes about the hospital, saying that they need to specialize their radiology department because they clearly can't tell whether a pregnancy is ectopic or not ectopic. Either they need more training or they need to be specialized. Also, I made the suggestion that surgeons must be required to look at images before going into surgery rather than just simply reading a radiology report. I actually did hear back from them, and they're investigating, which is great. I wasn't actually expecting much from them, so good on them for at least investigating. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Let's see. I think that was about it. We're expecting a baby girl. She should be here in January. If you are going through an ectopic pregnancy, I am very sorry that this happened to you. It's not fun, but it's not the end either. I wish everybody the best. Thanks. Bye.